Welcome to CyberPunk 2077. Wait, something's wrong. No. Not the console version, the PC version. There we go. 9 years of development really does a lot, doesn't it? Ever since Cyberpunk's release earlier this month, we've seen an onslaught of complaints coming from Xbox and PlayStation customers. Broken quests, glitchy mechanics, and less than satisfying graphics. However, on the PC side of things, everything has been running fairly smoothly. A couple of broken missions from time to time that require a reload back to a previous save point has been the biggest concern for me, and of course a few other minor bugs. I mean, look at these guys. They're everywhere. All jokes aside, I'm thankful I have a PC decent enough to run this game at least on medium to high. For some reason, my graphics card suggested I set everything to ultra, but I kind of had to bring it back down to reality and give it a pat on the back, and yeah, medium's good. Console users don't seem to have this option for optimizing their gameplay experience, and they have to rely on the devs to make sure everything is compatible and runs smoothly.
Do I make you speechless?
Now, obviously, that didn't happen, and the devs' only response is, yeah, we focus mainly on PC. We'll patch that later. Just wait.
I'm a princess and you're not. La 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 la.
Well, that's what they said in a nutshell, basically. A week later after its release, and now Sony has pulled the game from its digital store, and now Microsoft is saying they are working with customers to give full refunds for the digital purchases online. And CD Projekt Red itself has said we'll do everything we can to make sure digital and physical copies get returned in for a full refund. So at least everyone's kind of coming together and realizing this is a huge mistake, and they're trying to figure things out. Now, like any good product, whenever there's multiple complaints about it, it's always a good practice to take it off the shelves and incorporate changes to make sure that it's truly ready for purchase. For instance, look at the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. That turned out great after there were multiple changes made in the character design alone. And then we have The Last Jedi. Boy, when they realized Rian Johnson destroyed Luke Skywalker's character and made even the original trilogy feel unimportant and useless, what'd they do? Well, actually, they didn't do anything about that, did they? They didn't do nothing. Poor Mark Hamill. But hey, let's not get me started on that. Let's save that for another episode. Now, this isn't CD Projekt Red's first rodeo. They've made multiple high-tier games, AAA games like the Witcher series. So, what the hell went wrong with this one? After being around for over 26 years, you'd think this company would have its act together. Now, I don't work in the game industry. I don't work for CD Projekt Red, so I can't really say if there's an underlying issue or something that they're trying to hide or keep from us. What's the true story that happened here? Did they rush it out? Did they have plenty of time to fix these bugs and were just too lazy to? It almost feels like someone, tapped them on the shoulder and said, hey, this needs to go out before Christmas. We got people lined up at the door, ready to buy this thing. Just shove it out the door. Just get it out there. I don't care about the bugs. We'll patch it up later. Just push it out there before Christmas. Go. And now we have the end result as, basically they're taking it all back in at their own cost. It's just a massacre. Everyone's unhappy, at least on the console. And I imagine there's a lot of parents out there that have bought this present for their kids for Christmas, which your kids probably shouldn't play this game. But I'm sure there's gifts being given for Christmas, and it's physical copies of Cyberpunk, and I can't imagine that kind of feeling. I wonder if those people are actually returning it when they haven't even tried it yet, or if they're actually going to wait for the patch, and that's not probably coming till January, February, last I heard. So the biggest takeaway from this is to let this serve as a lesson for not only CD Projekt Red, but for other developers and future developers down the road to make sure that their games are 100% smooth and ready to go on these consoles. Now let's talk about more detail of the actual game itself and how it's running on PC. It's been running great for me, just a few minor bugs, nothing game breaking. I've had to fight a boss twice in a row simply because Jackie got stuck inside of a building. No spoilers. He just got glitched inside of a building, so I couldn't go and talk to him to further the main quest. So I just reloaded back to a previous checkpoint, fought the boss again, which was easy. I'm playing on medium mode, okay? I'm not trying to, like, you know, spend forever on this game. I almost actually played this game on easy mode simply because I wanted to get the story out of it and be done with it. But I'm glad I picked medium because there's so much to do in this game, and you really do want a slight challenge to it. This game is kind of like a mixture of Grand Theft Auto meets Ghost in the Shell. That's my vibe I'm getting, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Now, the level of detail in this game is amazing. Even inside the car in first person, you'll see subtle details like the little silver parts on the seat will actually say airbags, or the windshield itself. You'll see the little black dots that you would see in your real personal car around the edges. Just small subtle details like this I think mean a lot, or at least they do to me. It shows me that the game developers are paying attention to what they're doing here and trying to make it as detailed and realistic as possible. So the level of detail, the art is amazing. It's a beautiful game as long as you're playing on a PC. Now, I'm currently only running this on a 1070, and I had to turn the graphics down to medium, and I pretty much got rid of all the shadows, which I usually do in most games anyways. I'm not a big fan of having shadows. I don't feel like that's really important in games. That's just me though. I mean, if you like shadows, go for it. But I turned everything down to medium, and it seems to run fine. It is a powerhouse to stream though, so if you're going to stream this game, you want to stream on an alternate PC. The music in this game is really cool as well. Some of the radio stations are a bit on the trashier sides, but for the most part, it's mostly like this retro wave feeling, and I love it. I love that stuff. If it wasn't playing on the radio in the cars already, I'd probably be playing it in the background through YouTube or Spotify anyways. Now for the gameplay. The gameplay is smooth for the most part. There are a few bugs. Sometimes when I try to pick up things that are on the ground or too close to a character or whatever, instead of picking up the item, it'll keep trying to talk to the character, which is a bit inconvenient, but they'll smooth that out over time. I'm sure they'll move the characters away from the items that can be looted or picked up, or they'll make it more detailed to distinguish between one or the other. But as far as controlling the cars and running around, running and gunning, shooting, I have no issues with that. It feels smooth, it feels like a first-person shooter should, and yeah, I'm quite happy with the gameplay. We're here at the end of the year 2020, and I think overall CyberPunk 2077 for me is my favorite game this year. That's saying a lot since so many other great games came out previously. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta jump back into the game because I need some eddies for a new car.